I was going to say straight away, I mean, what's it like being a cult? But it's bad sounding here. You are a cult hero to some Leeds fans. What is that like?
What do you mean? What do you mean by cult hero?
Cameron Smith appreciation.
Yes.
You know, I'm grateful for any recognition I get. It's awesome that they've created a society. I would have saying then I'd love to meet the guys that have founded it, you know, and give them my appreciation. But as far as that goes, I'm very grateful, and any recognition, you know, is awesome.
I mean, I don't know them, but they'll be hiding out behind the change rooms now after the end of the game. Leeds Rhinos, grand finalists last year, completely unexpected about the midway point of the season. What happened? What did Rowan Smith change?
I think he just changed the culture. The lads are coming in with a smile on their face. We're playing on the field with a smile on our face. We developed some belief, some determination to win. And I think that's about it, to be honest, mate. I think it's really cliche saying, but you know, it's credit to the lads that we had at that time. I think at one point in the year we were 11th, and then we ended up in the grand final at the end of the year. So Rowan played a huge part in that, and also the players that, you know, we looked at each other and decided that we wanted to do something, and you know that's what happened. So it was a hell of a roller coaster.
As a young player coming through at Leeds, what's it like when you know, walking through the tunnel? There's all the history, all the great teams of the past, in the far past, and the recent history as well. Is that a pressure? Is that a good pressure to have on you?
Yeah, and I'm a student of the game. I've been involved in it since 4 years old. I get Mick taken out of me all the time because I never shut up about talking about it. For me to be able to come through the Leeds system and then be involved, I've just signed up until I'm 27 years old, so it means I'll be at the club. I'll be playing at the club 10 years. It's all I've ever dreamed of, and to be honest, you can never replicate that feeling of running out on a Friday night at Headingley, and you know, the fans are on top of you, and that added little bit of pressure of how heavy the badge is and how heavy the shirt is, and you know, the fans and the club deserve some success. I think it just adds to that feeling, and it's incredibly special.
The coach gave us lots to talk about this week by not choosing a captain. What is it like in the group? I'm guessing there's some who are louder, some who are quieter. And do you really need someone just to toss a coin before a match? Yeah,
I think that's a great way that you've put it at the start. I think it's a little bit outdated that there's one specific guy that goes and does the toss, and I feel like we've got a very special group in terms of having tons of leaders in one team. So for Owen to take the collective approach and have numerous lads chip in when they need to chip in, or take a step back when they need to step back, I think it'll be the right balance. And I think if we get that from each player, because I feel like if the one guy's given the role, it almost takes the voice off other people, and they feel like they don't want to add to what we're doing. So if you know the case is that we're going with a collective group that's going to be in charge, that different people bring different qualities, and if people continue to add, then I don't think we can go far wrong.
You say you're a student of the game then, obviously a club with lots of history as mentioned, but in last year you get to the grand final, the women win the grand final, the wheelchair team got to a grand final, won the Challenge Cup final, the PDRL team won the grand final, everyone won everything last year. How does the club copy that success this year?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No pressure.
No pressure. I just feel like that regardless of any team that representing Leeds, we all carry the same qualities in terms of wanting to work hard and wanting to win. While ever I've been growing up, Leeds have always been successful. And to say that, you know, we've got tons of teams from one club, all being successful. I don't think it's necessarily about copying it, but I think it's about just implementing what they did week to week last year, and then if they're consistent with that, then you know we'll replicate it again.
You're lucky Phil remembers when you did win everything, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, more than they did win. I was going to say your tackling stats were ridiculous last year, but the normalised part of your game is to be a ball player in the traditional loose forward who gets the ball away. Rowan seemed to unlock that a little bit in you last year. Do you think that was part of the reason behind getting to Old Trafford?
Yeah, well, not necessarily. I'm not saying I'm the reason why we got there. I think it's the style that he implemented to the tons of players who love to play with the ball in the team. Obviously, I love playing with the ball. We've got other players that also love to express themselves. So I think Rowan just unlocking that potential in and around the squad, having the philosophy of testing our skill and being brave with our skill. We scored some amazing tries. We look like we can score from anywhere on the park, and even going down, we went away to Catalan and we were down 30 points with 12 men on the field, and we still were managing to throw the ball around to score points. In my eyes, it was just the philosophy of everybody wanting to play and express themselves. So I'm really lucky that Rowan allowed me to do that in the middle of the field, and it unlocked. I touched on earlier that my role is to let other people bring themselves out and add to their game. So as long as I can continue to do that, I'm sure we can go really well.
Which is fair to say other coaches haven't allowed you to do and maybe inhibited your style. But do you think there's a change? Because Tony Smith's been saying if Super League's really going to sell itself in this brave new IMG era, we've got to entertain. Rowan clearly got to a grand final by wanting to play attacking rugby first. Are you looking forward to this season because attack is going to be perhaps more than defence this year?
Yeah, and I think fans love seeing the teams play with flair, and our team is full of flair. So as long as we can continue to encourage to attack teams, then it'll be great for the sport, and hopefully get as many spectators watching as possible.
Caught everybody on the blind side a bit last year with that run. That 1 minute, it's going to be relegation. Next minute, have an hour, you're in the playoffs. You won't have that this year. People will be planning on how to be the best that Leeds can be. Does that mean that it's harder this year, or that the weight of expectation is going to be greater from people outside, or has that not affected your training?
No, that's not affected our training one bit. We can only control what we have in the group and in that present time, so we're not looking too far ahead, and we're not looking what's happened previously. What happened last year is done now, and we'll just be taking every fixture as it comes, regardless of what people are saying outside. I think it's important that we can control what we can control, and consistency is probably the word that I'd go with. If we can continue to be consistent in that field, and like we was at the back end of last year, then there's no need to think about the pressure.